There were a couple of gems this week. Obviously, we talked about it yesterday with my good friend Drew from Comics Elite, but there were some absolute stinkers this week, and we're here to review them. Remember, Doc and I are taking the bullets for you guys. We're reading this crap and telling you about it so you don't have to. I hope you didn't read either Justice League versus Legion of Superheroes #1 or The Thing #3. And here with me is the X-Men historian, the Marvel aficionado. Are you a comic book masochist, Doc? Is that what you are now? Are you just here for the pain?
Yeah, I think that is it. I think I'm just here for the pain. It's like hit me daddy over and over again. Yeah, and nobody wants to hear that.
No. The way you did it with your voice? It's fucked up. So let's get right into it. There's no contest this week on which one was worse. It's the fucking Brian Michael Bendis Justice League versus Legion of Superheroes. This is a common issue that we have, especially with DC more than Marvel even so, is that they take these really talentless writers like a Brian Michael Bendis and Tom King, and they always, back them up with really good artists. Scott Godlewski may not be a complete superstar, but he's still a good quality comic book artist, and he's just wasted here.
You know what? There might be a method to DC's madness. You know what that is? Brian Michael Bendis can't tell a fucking story anymore, so he needs an artist that can.
He's very meandering.
He is. And this issue, I was able to tell read the story and understand the story just on the art, because by about halfway through, I had to actually force myself to read the fucking caption and dialogue boxes.
Well, I was about to say, he covers up so much of the art. That is a kudo to Scott Godlewski that he was able to tell a story while half of his art was actually being covered up by all this meaningless dialogue. There's actually one page where there's so much dialogue, and it's like a meeting of the Justice League and Legion of Superheroes. I couldn't read it. I was like, this sucks ass. And the funniest part is, like, when you open the story, first there's this really stupid conversation with Gold Lantern. Apparently he's not confident in himself. And then he's talking about, we have a member, in the Legion of Superheroes from every system, in the galaxy. So we have all these different perspectives. And then for an entire 25 pages, Doc, every character sounds the same.
Yes.
Fucking Batman sounds like fucking Multiple Girl or whatever, or
Triplicate Girl, and
yes,
Lightning Lass, and John Kent, and fucking Timberwolf. They literally all had the exact same speech patterns, characterization.
Cutesy fucking bullshit dialogue is just awful. Doc, I was so mad. At one point, Black Adam says, never apologize for being in awe. I was like, I like Black Adam. This is the kind of stuff, like, if he talked like this in regular comic books, I would never like this character.
Yeah, it was like, never apologize for being in awe of the astonishing. I'm like, what? Fuck you. There's no way Black Adam says that shit.
No, what did you, how many gallons of soy milk did this character drink? God.
Yeah, exactly. The only thing that Black Adam shows any awe to is himself. And the only thing he thinks anybody else should be in awe of is Black Adam. It's like Brian Bendis spent the entire book just throwing random shit at the wall, and then just having it's like he's still trying to hit those one-liners that he was marginally solid at in the early 2000s, and now he needs 15 attempts to even get anywhere close to the target for a good one-liner. So he'll throw me 30 of them in a comic these days in the hopes that you might chuckle at one.
There are no chuckles to be had in here. You just feel bad for the artist. I felt bad for myself for reading it. I didn't feel bad for making you read it because I think you kind of deserve it. But I definitely feel bad for any of the viewers that read this. It sucks so bad.
I do feel bad for the readers.
Irredeemable fucking comic book.
Okay, like I am not a huge Legion of Superheroes fan. I was never. I'm not a big DC
You have
guy.
questionable taste, Doc.
Yes, I know. Look, I'm not a big DC fan. However, I am aware of the existence of the Great Darkness saga and how well it was kind of put together originally back in the like the late 70s and the 80s, like over the course of like multiple years. You didn't realize that it was happening, and then all of a sudden you realize that all the stuff that had been going on in the background was building up to this huge thing. And this is just Brian Bendis going, hey, by the way, I'm just going to trade on the history of the Great Darkness saga, then act like everyone here has had brain damage and forgot about it the first time. And do it poorly. That's what this felt like.
It's an affront to comic book fans everywhere, Doc. DC
really
Comics
is.
are charging people to read this dribble. We should be charging them. They should be like, listen, we know that you're not really interested in a Brian Michael Bendis comic, but we'll give you a $5 if you just check it out and maybe give us some feedback on why it sucks so bad, because we would like to improve it. Instead, they just put up this inferior product. It's so frustrating. He hasn't told one fucking comic story. He hasn't written one comic book in his entire DC run that's worth a damn. Why is he still here? He needs to go back to Marvel.
Well, I mean, they already axed his exclusive. The problem is even Marvel won't take him at this point. And they're like, well,
you guys deserve him. You're the ones that propped him up. We shouldn't have to deal with the ramifications and the fallout of turning Brian Michael Bendis into whatever it is that he is. What is he now, Doc?
Now he's a walking human testicle. He's just, look, he's not a good writer anymore. I'm sorry. Look, this is, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of when WCW back in the 90s kept taking all of the lame wrestlers that the WWF would not continue to sign. Like when they just kept getting all the old guys. Yeah, all the old guys that were past their prime.
Yeah, but that's Hogan and Macho were still cool. I'm talking about Vincent, somebody that wasn't even good. Well, he had one big angle with Macho Man, but when like Vincent came over, you're like, Virgil, really? This is who you're bringing over now? Like,
yeah, and you also brought over Ted DiBiase after he couldn't wrestle anymore. You brought over the $1 Million Man then. You brought over, there was a bunch of like former WWF.
The 1, 2, 3 Kid?
Yep.
What is X-Pac doing here?
Yeah. You brought over a bunch of those WWF guys like from the late 80s and early 90s that were past their prime, you know, because you did it okay with Hall and Nash. And
Brian Michael Bendis is the ultimate warrior of comic book writer. Yes. He was good at a time. In fact, he was very, very popular. He was the most popular comic book writer in the world. But that is so far behind us, it's not even funny. Why is this guy still main eventing anything close to a WrestleMania? He shouldn't be on Starrcade. He needs to be on Thunder, Doc, where he belongs. Yes. He needs to be at Humanoid.
Yeah, honestly, that's where he should be at this point. And I'm sorry, you grabbed the past the prime guy, and it just didn't work.
Justice League versus Legion of Superheroes should be like foolproof. It's a cool idea. It's something people want to read. And like, how do you drop the ball this spectacularly? You're DC Comics, you're completely aimless, and you just can't let go of Brian Michael Bendis and admit you made a mistake. This comic absolutely sucks. Like I said, I said irredeemable. That is incorrect. The art, while not fantastic, is very fine. It's good art.
Yeah, I like the art. But look, honestly, I think they're just trying to let Bendis finish up whatever fucking stupid, absurd bullshit he was trying to do when he was on Superman, and then he moved John Kent to the future. I feel like they're just trying to let him write his way out of that and then move on from him.
I'm tired of being his comic book fluffer so he can finish and leave DC Comics. Now let's move over to Marvel, because they had a bad comic as well, but it wasn't nothing like this. Let's be honest. The Thing #3 does not come close to the shittiness that we get in Justice League versus Legion of Superhero. I would say the art by Tom Riley is actually superior. This is like fun, really good art, even though it's kind of old-timey in its styling. Like, it's actually pretty kinetic, especially in the fight scenes. there's something to enjoy here, Doc, but this is such a bad story from Walter Mosley. Like, there's so many weird moments, like the moment where the Thing and his blind date are going to get fresh, and he's like, you might not want this, because my skin is rocks, saying you don't want none, you know what I mean? You don't want me to put it in there. And she's like, I like you to pound it rough. Like, what?
Yeah. I think you need to get her like some like fucking like, I don't know, like Bengay or what do you put on brush birds? Like aloe vera and fuck. Because I can only imagine it's kind of like falling off a bicycle on a gravel street right now is how she's feeling. This is a dumb comic with people. I don't understand what's going on in this comic. No, granted, I'm coming in on issue 3.
But it's an so random comic book. It has been from issue number 1. So many weird things going. Just characters just show up out of nowhere.
None of these people, like, I feel like Champion of the Universe is the only one here that actually seems to be written in character.
And he just shows up out of nowhere. He's like,
yeah.
You want my belt, brother?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like,
you.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if we're going for like fucking wrestling references on this one, I mean, goddamn, you had the literal champion of the universe. I mean, he does have very good form on a suplex.
Yes, there's a badass German suplex in this comic book. I was like, hey, hats off to Tom Riley and making that. It looks like $1 billion. But still, it's just so random. You're like, why the hell is this guy even here?
Yeah, there's no explanation for why the champion of the universe just shows up out of nowhere. There's no explanation why. Like, he actually even starts talking like normally, like to the Thing, like addressing him. Like, hey, there's a Thing, and then the Thing just punches him in the face. Not even, there's no chance at all. Like, this is obviously a quote unquote misunderstanding. But the misunderstanding was written so poorly that there was no time to misunderstand anything. The Thing just punched a stranger in the face.
There's another part where the Thing punches him again and his face goes blurry that the artist did. It really looks cool. Even though this comic sucks, it looks good.
Yeah, the fight scenes in this comic were very, very, very good. It was just all of the dialogue that like, okay, I understand trying to explain the champion of the universe. That is fucking complicated. Because it's ridiculous, like pro wrestling shit thrown into the middle of a with it's like pro wrestling aliens from the far side of the universe that just randomly show up in occasionally superhero comics. Yeah, sure, why not? But so trying to explain that to the reader, I get it. Nobody really knows who that character is, but the way that the dialogue is written here, none of these people, like, why are the cops just randomly, like, every time they come out of the ground, the cops try to shoot them?
Yeah.
I don't
understand. There's like a weird
this
scene where they take the champion of the universe, they got him strapped up to one of Reed Richards' interrogation devices. And I guess the Thing's like, let's go bone, and we're going to leave this 8-year-old to interrogate this monster?
Yeah. Yeah, like, they're like, okay, well, we're going to just leave him here. And the little 8-year-old kid...
The kid's got it.
Yeah, the 8-year-old kid's like, well, I want to ask him questions. And he's like, things like, yeah, sure, fucking whatever, kid. I'm going to go bang your mom.
Yeah.
That is his mom, right? Wait, first of all, what mom brings their kid on a blind date? I need to know.
You probably know this better than I do, Doc.
I have dated.
You've dated
a good number of single mothers. None of them have ever brought their child on a blind date.
I find that hard to believe.
Wait, also, didn't Ben just get married to Alicia? Like,
I think this is supposed to be happening like 20 years ago.
Are we sure? Because
I think so.
Like, Ben, because I'm so confused on why Ben's going on a date. I thought he got married recently. Like, they haven't really established this, or if they did, it was in the first issue. And
I think they did. I think this has happened a while ago.
Okay, in that case, I retract that complaint. But still, this was, what the fuck?
And then it turns out that not only, is he like a horn dog that's just like nailing single moms and leaving their kids to interrogate like celestial like powered level demons or whatever,
like immortal aliens.
It turns out he's also like a fucking peeping Tom. He goes into like a special room and he's like watching the lady and her kid and stuff. I'm like, what is going on
he's
here?
Like, it's like he went into the security room like after he fucking gave that
it's like
chick
Sliver. You remember with Daniel Baldwin, and was it Daniel Baldwin? It was one of the Baldwins and Sharon Stone right after she made Basic Instinct.
Yeah. And like this was
never go full Daniel Baldwin. What are you doing?
Exactly. Like, did he just like go and give her some like fucking aloe vera and then just wander off to his weird perv room? Why didn't he take her to the weird perv room? Oh wait, because it's just the the peeping Tom room.
That's a Doc area of expertise, not a Wes area of expertise. But this comic book. Well, it's not as bad as Legion as superheroes. There are things to enjoy here. The art itself is actually pretty good. There's some funny moments. It's just like, I wish I understood why anything was happening, and I don't think I'm supposed to.
I think the only thing, this issue kind of hinted that the mom, the blind date lady, and the kid are definitely some kind of weird aliens, because they did not talk like people. At least Ben talked not like himself, but he still talked like a human.
I don't know. I just don't think there's a lot of human ladies that can go to Pound Town with the thing. You're probably right. She probably isn't human.
Well, and plus the fact that the little kid, when he was interrogating the champion, I'm like, who the hell wrote the dialogue for this? Have you ever spent any time around a child? Holy shit. This doesn't sound like any kid I've ever met.
Doc's dated a lot of single moms, so he's met a lot of kids along the way. I do want to say thank you very much to Doc. Do you have anything else to say about these shitty comic books?
Hey, look,
remember, we're taking this pain for you. We're taking this one for you guys.
We are, and I hate you all for it, but at least I got some good art to look at this week. I was trying to think of what the fuck that ointment that you put on your like when you get a brush burn on your knee, that helps speed up the fucking healing process. That also prevents infection. Not A&D ointment.
You got a brush burn on your dick?
Well, no, I was going to say that she had one in her fucking vagina.
You don't have to like.
She got one in her coochie.
But you were talking about your personal experience.
From falling off a bike. You get it on your knee. When you get a brush burn on your knee, what the fuck was that?
Fell off a bike, like into her rocky vagina.
Neosporin. That's the fucking word I'm looking for.
You couldn't think of Neosporin?
I couldn't think of Neosporin.
You should have just said Robitussin.
Robitussin for the vagina.
Now, we've talked about the worst comics of the week. Just yesterday, my good friend Drew from Comics Elite joined me, and we talked about the very best comic books you could find this week. I say if you want to wash the taste of this out of your mouth, check this video out and find some comic books worth actually reading.